Right, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and today we're going to be reviewing Pitch Perfect 3, and obviously the finale of the Pitch Perfect. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It is on Disney Plus. And without further ado, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, comment down below your thoughts, and enjoy the video. So, Pitch Perfect 3 picks up, I want to say, a couple of years after the second one, and you get everyone back. You get the blonde girl who left. She returns for some reason. You've got all of them out of college now, all of them, every single one of them, bar Hailee Steinfeld's character, who is the leader of the Bellas now, and she's formed a new Bella group. And obviously, if I go any further, there's more there'll be spoilers ahead. But yeah, that's the gist of the film. And it starts with like an opening segment of a boat blowing up, them doing a song for some people who you find out who they are later. And it was just a really weird opening to the film, if I'm being honest. This film felt very different to the other Pitch Perfects. Obviously because you're moving out of the college scene. They're on a military base and doing a world tour for DJ Khaled for most of the film, and you get to see more of Anna Kendrick's character pushing for her dreams, the other characters eventually pushing beyond the Bardem Bellas, and it felt a very flat film because you didn't really get much from the co-cast. At the end, you had moments of where they were saying what they were going to do, and then you had Becca, Anna Kendrick's character, who sang Freedom on stage, and then these guys came on. He had a bit of rivalry with the other bands and a few blossoming moments with the boys who were in the army, and one of them who worked with DJ Khaled. So it was an okay film because there was still a lot of comedy. The whole weird thing with Fat Amy's dad, and then being on the yacht and being kidnapped, and then it exploded. It was a weird story in inclusion. I still think the Bellas as a group are brilliant when they're on stage together, when they're on the screen together. They have a lot of chemistry. But I just think this was, I say it was needed because it was very good closure, and it expanded a bit more on these characters, all the characters together. But I just think it wasn't completely needed, or they could have just gone with a better story because Fat Amy's dad being like this villain was really random and rogue. The girl who never speaks spoke properly for the first time, and they brought the blonde girl back who ended up having a different job in the second one. So it was like they brought her back, but for what reason? And she was the most obsessed with the Bellas, even though she didn't really care to join them in the second one. It was a really weird film, and it just felt flat for the most part. But singing wise, it was fantastic. I think the bit where all the groups meet for the first time and they do a riff off, and then the three groups join against the Bellas. It was fantastic when they sing "Wake Me Up" and whatever else they sang. But I just think there was good moments, but not enough to compare to the second and first one. The second is still the superior of the three. First one is brilliant, and it's still better than this one. And then when you're cutting out all the boyfriends like Bumper and the one who dates Anna Kendrick's character, and just say they were long distance, no, it was just a lot of bullshit. That was just cut off screen for no reason, and I think that's why it felt flat. They rushed things, they skipped things, they didn't include things that actually made the first two what it was. And sometimes you've got to go with what is actually right. But overall, it did end well. It was a satisfying ending. So that's why I'm only going to give it a 7, because it had satisfying moments, good singing, good comedy as always, and the girls are brilliant. But I think it just felt flat. They cut things out that didn't need to, and the connectivity to the second one isn't really there. And then after Hailee Steinfeld's character appeared with the new Bellas at the start, she sort of ditched them and then decided to go on a tour with the original Bellas. So take your mind up as you will on Pitch Perfect 3, but a 7 out of 10 is the best I'm going to give it because it just didn't get over the line for me in a complete way, but it still had moments that kept it watchable. So let me know down below in the comments your thoughts on Pitch Perfect 3. Subscribe like as always for more, and I should be doing Bumper in Berlin soon. Goodbye.